Hello everyone, my name is Shane Ammerman and I'm the owner and founder of HCCI Professional Protective Services, HCCI Tactical Training Solutions, and HCCI Holdings. I want to come to you and explain a little bit about myself and why I work in security, and primarily why I chose to work and specialize in protecting the Jewish community. I had a client come to me and recently ask me, Shane, can you help us understand why you work for the Jewish community? Are you a Jewish man? We want to understand why you do this. I explained to them, I'm not a Jewish man. I'm a strong Christian man and have strong Christian faith and beliefs. I said, and the choice to work in the Jewish community was not my own, but I believe it was God's plan. And to help them understand this, I said, it will take some background of why I do what I do for you to understand why I chose to protect the Jewish people. My journey started when I was 5 years old, when I stepped between a gun and my mother, wielded by my drunken father. When I was 8, that journey took a sharp turn because my mother, who was also the antagonist of the situation, decided to abandon us and leave us to the drunken, enraged father on our own. And between the ages of 8 and 11, I was the primary defender against my siblings and my father. My father was very angry, he was very abusive, and he was very violent. He was trained in the military, in law enforcement training, and in martial arts training. And going fist to fist with my dad was not just a drunken dad, it was a highly trained dad. And I forged my capability in hand-to-hand tactics. At 11 years old, my house was Molotov cocktailed by a druggie that my father would not sleep with. And because of that situation, our house was unlivable, and my mother and my stepfather gained custody of us. Between the ages of 8 and 14, that abuse turned to my stepdad, a 240 plus pound man, also military, was physically abusive to my brother, my sister, and myself. And that abuse turned into physical abuse, emotional abuse, neglect, and even sexual grooming. At 14 years old, my mother and stepfather were caught in what they were doing to us kids, and they ran and fled the state where we were living at the time, abandoning us again. At 14 years old, I was denied emancipation and forced to go back and live with my father. Less than 2 years later, I left home as a sophomore in high school, and I continued on my journey. For my years in high school, I had planned to be a Marine from the age of 11. So I joined the NJROTC program at my high school in order to prepare for joining the Marine Corps as an officer through the NJROTC program and hopefully college. While I was a senior in high school, my late wife developed cancer the first time, and I helped her get treatments for it, found her real dad, helped get her out of an abusive situation, and helped her get through her first cancer battle. And then I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. I was injured, and in less than a year I was discharged because of a broken leg that never healed properly. After that, I moved to Wyoming, and I started my family. I married my high school sweetheart. We had our little kids. In 2016, my late wife graduated from nursing school and became a home health and hospice nurse. And only 1 year later, she relapsed stage 4 terminal. I closed the trucking company I had at the time, and we moved to Colorado overnight to care for our family, to reshape what we had to do and fight the battle that was ahead of us. A battle we knew would potentially someday come back and haunt us. While I moved to Colorado, I wanted to take all of my years of experience. A lot of people don't understand the kind of experience you gain from the age 5 years old to 20 years old when you're protecting your family against a highly capable, trained individual, combined with martial arts training, military prep training. I wanted to take all of that experience and start helping more people and put my life to work still serving and protecting. So I decided I would start going down the road of getting security certifications, and that process in September of 2018 led me to an Israeli-tied organization known as the Krav Maga Association, and I started getting Israeli-tied trainings and security certifications in executive protection. Then I was invited to come back and become an Israeli weapons instructor, and then I became a law enforcement Krav Maga defensive tactics instructor as well. Through my process working for another company, they were really intrigued by my Israeli-based training and started putting me working with synagogues. They told me that if I worked with synagogues because of my Israeli-based training, they would absolutely love me. A key characteristic of myself is I love to learn. I love to talk, I love to absorb, and I love to understand culture. And when I started working with the Jewish people, I started asking questions. And the more questions I asked, the more I learned. The more I learned, the more I asked. I went through some Homeland Security, counterterrorism, and anti-bombing prevention training through FEMA and Homeland Security. And in those classes I focused on, I asked two key questions of societal groups I wanted to serve: schools and the Jewish people. And the more I asked in that course, the more I learned that the Jewish people are the most attacked group of people in the entire world, including the United States. And it was in those moments that I decided I wanted to specialize in protecting the Jewish people. The security firm I used to work for decided they didn't want to keep working with one of the community synagogues because it's a little complicated fitting in odd hours, little hours, around a variety of different needs and times that's not routine or regular. So they were going to drop the Jewish contracts that I was working on, and I expressed I thought that was a poor idea. Keeping our community ties is what will keep us thriving through hardship. So when I left that company and started my own security firm, on top of deciding to create a security company that will change the whole industry through professionalization, real training, real capability, high pay, and benefits, I decided I wanted to specialize with the Jewish people as well. And that began my journey in protecting the Jewish communities. In that time, I've become the state's leading expert. I protect over 40 different Jewish organizations or people. We were the primary responding consultant and advisor after the Boulder terrorist attack in 2025, working with the Boulder Jewish community through that hardship and advising law enforcement, even on the federal end, on how to work with and alongside the valuable Jewish community and a variety of different observancies that are respectable. During that time, I was invited to go to Israel to pull together all of my other training, and as a thank you for what I do to the Jewish community, and in October 2025, I spent 3 weeks training in Israel, learning how to bring those principles back to the United States to enhance my security firm and enhance the overall security of the Jewish community in Colorado, with hopes to bolster that nationally in the United States. So my plans to work with the Jewish community, they were not my plans. I believe God took extreme hardship, and he took the time where I wasn't able to work to forge a path for me to start taking care of the Jewish people. And that became my specialty. It became my heart. It's not my only heart. It's not my only specialty. I love working in schools, other places of faith, and other communities that are at high risk, and private individuals. But the Jewish community has really taken my heart because I've seen a people of strength, a people of resilience, a people of kind hearts, and a people of giving that I have not really experienced in many other cultures of life. And I truly enjoy working with the Jewish people and helping build a safer community and culture of safety and security from within, and being a part of their community so I can spot those unique risks and threats before they become a threat and before anyone is put in harm's way. So if you too were wondering why I chose to work in the Jewish community, I just want you to know it wasn't my plan, but it's the plan I moved in because of a strong Christian faith that I operate all aspects of my life and my business in. And it's been an absolute honor for the last 7 years to work alongside our valuable Jewish communities throughout the Front Range and Northern Colorado region, and even consulting at times in different states and even internationally as they have looked to us for what we're bringing to the community and helping reshape what safety and security looks like for vulnerable people. I really appreciate you being a part of my journey, your faith and trust in HCCI protection and HCCI training, and know that whether you're Jewish or not, we care about your safety and your security. Communities thrive where people feel safe, and HCCI has a commitment to building strength, resiliency, awareness, and physical security means in all communities so that we can strengthen our community as a whole and make it safer for all people. Thank you for being a part of the journey, and if you want to learn more, please join us at hccitraining.com, hccisecurity.com, and if you want to learn a little more about me, go to www.shane.site, and you can learn a little more about my background and why I work in the security industry, working to transform this industry into a professional industry that can keep people safe and provide a capability where individuals can grow and thrive in protecting the communities that we care about most. Thank you.